Hi and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your night to join me. I really appreciate it. Tonight, I want to talk about documentaries. If you're new to the channel, welcome. This is my life. It's just getting started as it is, too, because we just have so many videos to make that it almost makes you not want to do it, but then it just still has to be done, and I'm not complaining at all. All right. So documentaries, and listen, I'm really not. It's just I've literally been. I think thinking about things sometimes too much can be not in your best interest. Um, it's just always in your best interest to move forward. So I'll take some advice from my own self because I don't know. No one else is really in my life right now. Shout out to my roommate, you feel me? I mean, the dude's been good. We just got to get through this next year. And shout out to my dear out there, you feel me? Who I just sent a message to on Facebook, and I hope that she doesn't think I'm ignoring her. But regardless, we're supposed to be reacquainting ourselves with one another. So hit me up on Facebook. How can listen. I think a good part about being shameless, and doing what I do is that, like, since I hold nothing back, there really is no sort of judgment I have anymore on anything that I publicly disclose or that I talk about. So it's kind of like it's a very freeing experience, actually. But I'm actually in the middle of watching Food Inc. 2, which is one of my favorite documentaries. The first one is actually a really, really well made documentary. I'm thinking close to 20 years ago, and the sequel just dropped in 2023, so last year. And I'm just now discovering that particular documentary or the sequel of that, and so link in the description below for more details on that specific documentary here on YouTube. I don't know if they sell it or if you can watch it, or I know there's definitely a trailer available, but I'm watching it on Hulu, so enjoying Hulu while I have it for like another week before that too gets disconnected, because your boy here really needs to start making some money. So tell everyone you feel me, to like subscribe to my channel. Give me an opportunity. I mean, I can do so much more with a little bit of stuff. And I'm really thinking that money, that's the one thing that we can start with. So, as much as I absolutely detest the idea of that, of like pretend play money, it actually is something that matters. And I'm increasingly finding that out in life. So, shout out to all the people out there who make the world such a difficult place. Anyways, just all in pursuit of a literal piece of paper. And so, I mean, like, not even taking the moral high ground, I think we can all agree that at the end of the day, most things that are garbage, like both metaphorically and literally speaking, all are a result of human greed. And that human greed is specifically and directly relatable to money, Again, that made up piece of paper that we all have full faith in. It's ironic how we have faith in something that is failing more of us than it actually is helping. But I guess that's how capitalist America would have it to be. Our president used to host a reality show called The Apprentice. Anyways, so documentaries, listen, they've been a big part of my life. I've always been that dude, whether it's I've had people in my life, a couple of people, right? A mentor. I've had different influences in my life from people and their habits and so forth. And one of them that I picked up at an early age was just watching documentaries. I had I had an auntie who at the time in my life when I was young used to really get me to watch PBS, and not just Sesame Street, but like all of the PBS programs. So I'm essentially a PBS kid, and that era in my life led me to a point where I just am very much into documentaries. And also, I've been watching TED Talks for well over 20 years, before they were TEDx, which is ironically enough not TED Talks. But nonetheless, TED Talks are something that everyone now knows about. Some people, I'm sure, have seen at least one in their life. And again, TED Talks are different than TEDx Talks. And actually, the idea behind TED Talks is really cool, but and not a documentary, but still that kind of vibe of just a niche like person basically telling you stuff you maybe didn't know, in a very formal, instructional, beneficial kind of a way. Whether, again, in that message is conveyed unilaterally, obviously through a production in a documentary. Moreover, just as it is in the same way for a presenter to convey that same message only on a stage and in front of a camera. And so, regardless, I like the messages. I like information. I like being informed. I feel like consent's a big part of everyone's life, and it's super important that we all maintain a uniform conformity, but we have to know what exactly it is that we're being informed of, and how we stay informed, and that our information is as neutral as possible, so that we can make our own opinions about things that might be difficult, if not for the fact that there are vested interests in making sure that you only think and, or more importantly, act on things that benefit the majority of just a few people and a handful of companies, as opposed to, let's say like the community, or more over and more directly your family, or specifically yourself. So these are things that I think about, and documentaries help me to continue to try and challenge what I think that I know, and to challenge what I think that I have thoughts about, and then I make opinions. And then I also seek out other types of documentaries that seek to disprove that one. I mean, this is just a kind of method of learning, and I enjoy learning, so I think documentaries are a good way to learn. I think they're a good way to stay informed. I think they're a good way to check on progress. It so happens that since the first documentary of Food Inc., for example, had been made till last year, the food system has only been made worse. I know a lot of us would argue that with a lot of credibility, and that's just simply because we continue to put profit over everything else. And until that very topic is addressed, I feel like we all have a lot of things working against us. And as it would be not just against the pocketbook and our wallets and our purses, but our actual health, like our livelihood, our future lives, the future birth rate, the future of health, for our children and grandchildren and stuff, those things, long term things. I understand that they don't make everyone a billionaire, or a handful of people within a short time, but in fact, long term investment in human capital is always going to be something that I think should be number one on our list of things that have to be maintained, and maintained well, and so they can be improved upon. But documentaries, again, don't just take my word for it. Like the dude from Reading Rainbow would say, the guy that used to also be the really cool guy on Star Trek. He looked like Cyclops, that guy. You don't have to take my word for it. And then he would go into this segment where, like, it would show you information. So even Reading Rainbow, I'm now discovering as I give this impromptu talk, is loosely on the same vibe wave as, like, or wave of wavelength of documentary and those kinds of things. Just informative programming is really essential to understanding the world around you, because otherwise the world around you is just what you see people doing on TikTok, and I don't know if that's an accurate reflection as to how we're all living. Facts. I'm just saying, there's a lot of problems out in the world. And yeah, there's a lot of people that are living their best lives, and I think we should all be so proud of them. You feel me? No joke, no sarcasm, not hate on them, not eat the rich. How about just get the rich to share some food with the rest of us. I feel like that's also a sufficient way of moving forward with goals that we all should collectively have. I hope that you guys have a really good night. Link in the description below. Again, check out Food Inc. 2. Check out Food Inc. Check out a documentary. You feel me? I feel like it'll vastly improve or change or enforce some of the things that you think that you know or that you know for certain or you're curious about. Think outside the box a little bit. Imagination's not completely dead. Watch a documentary and have a really good night. Bye.